It is October 13th, 2022, and you're watching The Code Report. Yesterday, JetBrains announced the preview release of Fleet, the long-awaited IDE that's been dubbed the VS Code killer. JetBrains has an impeccable record when it comes to building IDEs, with IntelliJ for Java, WebStorm for JavaScript, PyCharm for Python, and so on. If anybody's going to build a next-generation IDE to compete with VS Code, it's JetBrains. Let's find out if Fleet meets these high expectations. One of the main reasons VS Code is so popular is that it's free. Fleet is also free currently, but appears it will be a paid product in the future. To install it, you need to download JetBrains Toolbox, where you pick and choose the different programs that you want to download through this app. That's a pretty big turnoff for something I would expect to be a lightweight download. Speaking of which, one of the main criticisms of VS Code is that it's a big fat memory hog built with Electron. Now, I don't condone fat shaming, and I'm proud to use the big and beautiful VS Code, but was kind of shocked at the amount of memory that Fleet was using. I have Fleet and VS Code opened up on the same project. VS Code is using about 750 megabytes, while Fleet is using almost 3 gigabytes. They both require a lot of CPU when you're actually editing, but I was very surprised at the memory footprint here and checked with some friends on Discord to make sure that I wasn't the only one. Anyone on Windows reported more memory usage, but on Linux it appears to be smaller. According to InfoWorld, it's mainly written in Kotlin, and the front-end UI uses Skia, with Rust being used in places as well. Hopefully we get a ton of crazy features in exchange for this memory. Let's find out. First of all, I like the overall UI. It's minimal and approachable, in contrast to other JetBrains products which tend to be pretty complex. I really like its Git and Git history panels, and it also supports Docker out of the box. The actual text editing experience is pretty nice, and has this next-gen feature called Find that allows you to search for text within a file. This is really powerful when you need to find something but don't know where it is, because Find will search for something and then let you know when it's found. But what makes Fleet different than anything else on the market is something called Smart Mode. When you first open it, it just works like a regular text editor. However, at the top here, you'll notice a button to enable Smart Mode. When you click it, it turns the editor into a full-blown IDE, with features like autocomplete, refactoring, and so on. These features require a lot more overhead because it has to index the entire project, so it's cool to have the option to opt in only as needed. It's kind of like a hybrid between a lightweight text editor and a full-blown IDE, although it appears to take a long time, like maybe over a minute, to index a project. You can also get full IDE features in VS Code through plugins, but with Smart Mode it all just kind of happens automatically. Currently, not everything is supported. As you can see here, I have a Svelte project which isn't supported, which means no syntax highlighting, autocomplete, or anything. Maybe someone will create a Svelte plugin in the future, but currently that's not possible in preview because currently there's no API to extend Fleet with plugins. However, that is guaranteed to be a thing in the future. That'll be pretty essential because right now there's only 4 themes to choose from, and VS Code users are more concerned about how the editor looks when someone is spying on their laptop at Starbucks than any actual IntelliSense coding features. Overall, I think Fleet has a ton of potential, but it's definitely not a VS Code killer, and I'm not even sure that's what JetBrains is going for. A paid product will never challenge VS Code. Independent developers are just way too poor and cheap, especially with today's CPI print, which was once again worse than expected. I think the big innovation here is that you can move indexing to a remote space, which seems like it would be most appealing to large remote teams where great IntelliSense could be achieved on any language across multiple projects. But if you want to be a real alpha like the Primeagen or David Goggins, you should use Vim.
I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he thought about quitting and leaving and his wife and his kids, and why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy shit?
The way I do it is I open up my terminal, type in Vim, then zoom out the camera a little bit, then take advantage of VS Code while Vim is running, and now my mom can proudly say her son uses Vim. This has been The Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.